Call me Ishmael. I won't answer to it because that's not my name, but it's much more agreeable than most of the things that I've been called. Call me that weird chick who says fuck a lot is probably more accurate, but Ishmael seems classier, and it makes a way more respectable beginning than the sentence I'd originally written, which was about how I'd just run into my gynecologist at Starbucks, and she looked right past me like she totally didn't even know me. And so I stood there, wondering whether that's something she does on purpose to make her clients feel less uncomfortable, or whether she just genuinely didn't recognize me without my vagina. Either way, it's very disconcerting when people who've been inside your vagina don't acknowledge your existence. Also, I just want to clarify that I don't mean without my vagina like I didn't have it with me at the time. I just meant that I wasn't, displaying it while I was at Starbucks. That's probably understood, but I thought I should clarify since it's the first chapter and you don't know that much about me. So just to clarify, I always have my vagina with me. It's like my American Express card, in that I don't leave home without it, not that I use it to buy stuff with. This book is a true story about me and my battle with leukemia, and, spoiler alert, in the end I die. So you could just read this sentence and then pretend that you read the whole book. Unfortunately, there's a secret word somewhere in this book, and if you don't read all of it, you won't find out the secret word. And then the people in your book club will totally know that you stopped reading after this paragraph and will realize that you are a big fat fake. Okay, fine. The secret word is sausages. The end. Still there? Good. Because the secret word is not really sausages, and I don't even know how to spell leukemia. This is a special test that you can use to see who really read the book. If someone in your book club even mentions sausages or leukemia, they are a liar and you should make them leave. And probably you should frisk them as you're throwing them out because they may have stolen some of your silverware. The real secret word is fork. Also, there's a little footnote here down at the bottom that says that fork is not really the real secret word. There actually isn't a real secret word because this is a book, y'all, not a fucking spy movie. I grew up a poor black girl in New York. Except replace black with white and New York with rural Texas. The poor part can stay. I was born in Austin, Texas, which is known for its popular Keep Austin Weird campaign, and since I've spent my whole life being pigeonholed as that weird girl, I ended up fitting in there perfectly and lived happily ever after. The end. This is probably what would have been the end of my book if my parents hadn't moved us away from Austin when I was 3. I have pretty much no memory of Austin. But according to my mom, we lived in a walk-up apartment near the military base, and late at night I would stand up in my crib, open the curtains, and attempt to wave soldiers on the street up to my room. My father was one of those soldiers at the time, and when my mom told me the story as a teenager, I pointed out that perhaps she should have appreciated me getting him off the streets like that. Instead, she and my father just moved my crib away from the window because they were concerned that I was, quote, developing an aptitude for that kind of trade. Apparently, I was really distraught about this whole arrangement because the very next week I shoved a broom into the living room furnace, set it on fire, and ran through the apartment, screaming and swinging the flaming torch around my head. Allegedly. I have no memory of this at all, but if it did happen, I suspect I was waving it around like some kind of awesomely patriotic flaming baton. To hear my mother tell it, I was viciously brandishing it at her like she was Frankenstein's monster and I was several angry villagers. My mother refers to this as my first arson episode. I refer to it as a lesson in why rearranging someone else's furniture is dangerous to everyone. We've agreed to disagree on the wording. Shortly after that incident, we packed up and moved to the small, violently rural town of Wall, Texas. My parents claimed it was because my dad's enlistment had ended and my mom found herself pregnant with my little sister and wanted to be closer to family, but I suspect it was because they realized that there was something wrong with me and believed that growing up in the same small West Texas town that they'd grown up in might change me into a normal person. This was one of many things that they were wrong about. Other things that they were wrong about, the existence of the tooth fairy, the timeless appeal of fake wooden paneling, the wisdom of leaving your 3-year-old alone with a straw broom in a furnace. If you compare the Wall, Texas of today with the Wall, Texas of my childhood, you would hardly recognize it because the Wall, Texas of today has a gas station. And if you think having a gas station is not that big of a deal, then you're probably the kind of person who grew up in a town that has a gas station and that doesn't encourage students to drive to school on their tractors.